Now each of these 4 places can have some value to it. So let's say I'm putting the names of animals: lion, tiger, giraffe, zebra. So what I did is I've allocated 4 places in an array for any 4 variables. Okay, so it doesn't mean that the value has to be a string. It can be a number in between. Okay, lion, 45, giraffe, zebra. So let's see how we do this. So as I said, initially we have to declare the array. The variable in our case is array now. So let's say we start with A, and the name, let's say keep it as animals. Okay, A because it's an array of animals, and then you have to declare the size. Now we are having 4 values in it, so let's say the size is 3. Why 3? Because the indexing is starting with 0, and the size is always the uppermost value for the array. Okay, so an array which is having a size 4, it has to be declared with a value 3. Similarly, for any array which has a size 50, we have to declare it with value 49 in the bracket. Okay, now once I've declared, I can assign values to my array in a particular fashion. Okay, this is the memory which I've allocated to my array. Now let's put some value in that memory. So let's say animals. Now inside bracket I'll put 0, which means I'm allocating some value to the 0th memory place which has been allocated for the array. So let's say, and it's a string, right? I'll put it in double quotes, tiger. Now similarly, we can put the another value, that is let's say we are putting a number this time. Okay, so let's say 456, and it won't be in string. If you want to make this a string, you have to put double quotes. And similarly, we can assign different values to a different memory location. So let's say for 2 I am putting zebra, and the last one I'm putting some animal, cat. Okay, so this is how I have assigned the values to my array, and if I want to display any of the value, I can use the index. So this is called as index 0, 1, 2, 3. Every index can have a value to it, and if you're not putting any value, it will throw an empty. So when I display this, let's say I want to display any of the value. Okay, let's say I want to display the 3rd value of my array index. I'll write the 4th value of my array. Then let's say I'll write it as A animals bracket 3, and when I run this, it will display cat, since the last location is having cat in the memory. Okay, I'll just remove this. If you don't want to see a run results viewer, go to tools options, and in run there's an option view results when run session ends. Just remove it, because right now I don't want to see the run results. Okay, so this was about array. Now there's one more way of declaring array. Instead of assigning value to each of them separately, what I can do is I can write my array name. I can write all the values in a single line by writing the name of the variable equal to array. It hasn't, not necessary, it has to be in capital letters. Okay, and in brackets you can give the value tiger, comma, any number, say, and let's say zebra. Okay, if you will notice, I have assigned 4 memory locations to animals, but I'm using only 3, that is 0 index, 1 index and 2 index. Index 3 is blank. Let's see what happens when I run this. There's a type mismatch. Now why we got type mismatches? Because we cannot declare the array if we are already initializing the array in this format. What happens is when you write array in this format, QTP itself decides that the memory space is taking 3 locations, and it itself assigns space to this variable. So while writing this, it creates an error. So what you have to do is you have to just remove the memory space assigned to it. Okay. So when I remove the memory space assigned to it, it won't throw an error. Now when I run it, you'll see that QTP has assigned the memory space to animals. Now it is saying that subscript out of range because the index is 0, 1, 2 till 2. We don't have 3. So now when I change it to 2 and run it, it should display zebra. Okay. So as you had seen before, it is displaying the value for a particular index. Now what you have observed from this is you can declare the variable and you can allocate the memory space to it if you are not allocating it in runtime. Now what I am doing by declaring array over here, I am giving the space in runtime. That is, I am saying QTP that I am giving 3 spaces to my array animals, and therefore I don't have to write it over here. Okay. And also you'll note that while declaring here dim, it considers the animals as a simple variable, and when it encounters this statement wherein we are assigning values to it in a array format, it will consider it as the subtype as array. So this was about declaring array. This is a one-dimensional array wherein we are saving the value in 1 dimension. We also have 2-dimensional array wherein we can save the value in 2 dimensions. Now what I can do is, let's say we are giving some value to our 2-dimensional array. So what is a 2-dimensional array? 2-dimensional array is nothing but your memory space stored in 2 dimensions. So let's say consider this as my memory space. Now my 1-dimensional array, I am assigning 0 and 1 index. Okay, I am allocating 2 spaces to my 1-dimensional array.